Welcome to Abundance, Money, Marketing, and Mindset with Joyce Logan and Charlene Chiaro. With their wisdom, empathy, and laughter, author of Starving Your Fears, Joyce Logan, PhD, and business expert and motivational speaker, Charlene Chiaro, are passionate about helping you live the life you desire. Whether struggling with stress in your personal or professional world, they'll calm your nerves and help you create a plan so you can truly enjoy your life by changing the way you look at things. Join Charlene and Joyce now.
Hi, and welcome to Abundance. I'm Joyce Logan, and my co-host is Charlene Chiaro, and we'll be talking about money, marketing, and mindset, shifting into the life you desire on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Listen online on your mobile devices, in your car, or ask Alexa. To learn more and for a full schedule, go to dreamvision7radio.com. Dreamvision7radio.com. Network is the media partner for the Omega Institute. To stay in touch with us, go to our Facebook page, at Abundance Talk Radio. So each month, by the way, I'm going to begin by saying Charlene isn't here right now. She may join us later. She had something very pressing to do, and my lovely co-host isn't here, but I will continue on because we have a great guest. We're going to be talking for an hour, and boy, you're going to want to listen to him. But each month I do begin with a card, with a meditation that I do. And in my meditation, I ask God, Jesus, angels, and all the luminaries in the heavens to bring us all a message for this month. So here it is for you. It's called, moving on. You may be feeling the need to move on, but once interested you has lost its charm, and you're seeking more meaning and rewards. You've grown spiritually and emotionally, and you yearn to leave the past behind. These changes will bring the benefits you desire. Your inward search for answers is rewarded during this time. Don't let anything distract you from your true path. If you feel a void in your life, fill it in healthy ways. A relocation or change in your job or relationship is possible at this time. So that's your April message for the whole month. So if anyone is feeling that resonated with you, this show actually fits in with that message. So I love when that synchronicity happens. I want to introduce you to our guest because I really want to speak to our guest. I want to hear some things. So our special guest today is Success Genie Angeles Perez. He is a corporate cultural expert, communication, leadership, management, mindset trainer, coach, and employee developer. Angeles is your inner leader and wealth creator activator. Meticulous, thoughtful, and strategic, he is your guide who encourages you to stop sitting back and to start taking charge of your life, your business, and career. He teaches from a place of realistic leadership and focused results. Mentoring with Angeles will build your confidence, and you will learn how to leverage your expertise. For more information, just go to successgenie.com. And here he is now. Welcome to our show, Angeles.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So we have a lot of people who listen to us who are entrepreneurs. And they may have, like a small holistic practice or a store, or perhaps they're sitting at work and they're a little bit tired of staring at the screen from 9 to 5 in Zoom calls now, or in an office, and they want to make some changes and they don't know how. So what does a mindset coach and trainer do? Tell us.
A mindset coach and or trainer, they're not all the same. Basically, we are there we partner with our clients and students. We become invested in their success, but we primarily function as a guide. Like you see when you're being hypnotized, you have the hypnotherapist, the NLP practitioner guiding you through the session. Well, we're kind of like that, but guiding you through your lifestyle, which is your business and or career. It's just a small piece of it. And most of the problems start because people start to forget that. It's a small piece, it's not the main thing. And we kind of get them. They usually come to us because what you just kind of mentioned, they're kind of staring at the screen. Things are getting kind of laborious, maybe. Actually, they come to us because they're very, very stressed and they want to change but they don't know what is keeping them from the change, from the glass ceiling, the next level of success. So a mindset coach, trainer is like a regular trainer you see like with sports or for high-end professionals, because many of my clients are very successful professionals. And on the coaching side, we're there just to make sure they're going the right way. Do you want to go this way? You want to go that way? They choose the direction. We just make sure we keep them accountable.
Mm-hmm. So you said there's a difference between a mindset coach and a trainer. What is that difference?
Well, okay. A trainer is basically dealing with your established skill sets. Okay, you learn how to, let's say you're in a gym. Once you've learned the skill set of pushing dumbbells around or bench pressing, or if you're a runner, how to run properly, bodybuilding, whatever it is. Once you learn the skill set, then the trainer just kind of is there pushing you, making sure that you keep going to that next step more. A mindset coach, and it's not always a trainer, they basically retrain your brain and then kind of let you go. In other words, once a mindset coach has got you to the level of thought, the process of thinking, like, for example, I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not fast enough. I'm not fill in the blanks. The coach will get that replaced with, I am fast enough. I am this. I am that. I am any potential I want to be, fill in the blanks. But I give kind of a holistic approach. Once I've helped them to train their brain to think more effective, more efficiently for whatever lifestyle they're going for, a career, then I stay as a trainer to make sure, okay, you know how to bench press, but can you get to, so I'm going to push you now. And that's where I guarantee the results. If my clients do the work, it's 100% results. It cannot not be done. It's like, if you pick up a pencil and start writing something, even if you don't know how to write well, you're going to write something. It's a no-brainer. It's a guarantee. It's physics. So I use many different types of sciences to validate what I'm doing, because sometimes training your brain, you're having so much fun in the process. It appears like magic. How come I got my work done in 1/2 the time? It used to take me, double that. Why am I enjoying? Why am I making more money when I'm home, my hobby, making beer? It's a mindset.
Right. It is a mindset. And it's very powerful when you said I am, like I am that. Those two words, I am. Boy, you better watch what you say after that.
Yeah, your words are very, very, very powerful. And the declaration of memories based on a declarative type of format. So if you declare it, it becomes more real in the 3D universe that we live in, this reality that we created for us, because there is no reality. If you take it from a scientific point of view, it's a perception. You can get 100 people, tell any cop who came to a crime scene and check 100 witnesses, well, actually it's like a dozen witnesses. There's a little bit like whisper down the lane. They get a different story, a different variation of the same exact episode. And then the police is trained to take kind of the middle ground of all this story to get the real story. So we know any professional out there that deals with memory, be it scientific, police officer or the like, they are trained to understand reality is not what it is, it's how we perceive it. If you have a perception from an old training, an old way of being brought up perhaps, or maybe your schooling, your upbringing with your parents and friends. Here's an example. Money doesn't grow on trees. We know that old saying. Or sometimes some people think money is the root of all evil. That's a mindset. Because at some point, people start to believe that unconsciously to the point where they don't think about it anymore. But then I'm jealous. I don't understand why I'm not making more money. Every time I'm about to break through the glass ceiling, just when I'm about there to be fantastic, and I'm about to get to my next level of success, it's like I'm cursed. It's like I'm sabotaging myself, and I don't understand why. What eats up my dreams? What is that splinter in my mind that's just stopping me short of my success? And I've seen people do that. They make a lot of money, then they lose it. And they make a lot of money and they lose it. And they don't understand. And then I go, well, let's see what kind of mindset, we take kind of a snapshot of their past, and I'm not a trained psychiatrist, social worker, or anything like that. Though there are different professions and professionals and know what they're doing. But this is just basically it's taking a snapshot of the past and seeing where this mindset started. And once we realize, oh, you have a mindset that money is the root of all evil. So as long as you unconsciously believe that, your unconscious will always win, not your conscious desires. So now we're going to change that unconscious belief to, wait a minute, it could be the potential for all good. That's all it takes. And once they change that recording in their mind, then they have no problems keeping the money. More important, keeping the money.
Isn't it? You know what? And people may think that's difficult, but it's not. You can actually change your mindset pretty quickly if you're watching your words and you're watching what you think. And I like what you said also about, like having fun with it. Don't be so serious, right? And I think the brain accepts that more when you're kind of daydreaming about it and seeing yourself making those changes.
The most successful clients I've ever had, from 6, 7 and on figures, they have been successful, and they're still successful because they have associated enjoyment, pleasure, fun with their business. You know what I say? It's either business or pleasure. You can't combine the both. I don't know where that mindset was created. But that's not true, because I have all testimonials from clients, and I tell people, call this person up, tell them I sent you, and they'll tell you how their life changed the minute they added fun back into their life, because it's something. If you're a Star Trek fan, you're going to love this. I learned this years ago when Captain Kirk, William Shatner, in one of the episodes, they said this alien comes out and says they made this a huge planet amusement park for the creators, the giant mental giants that were playing there. And Spock says, wait a minute, you have time, Kirk goes, you have time to play and all this stuff and with your magnificent minds? They go, and the caretaker goes, yes, the more complex the mind, the more the necessity for the simplicity of play. I put my own words into that, but that's basically what he said. And I said, that's brilliant, but that's got to be a truth to that. And then later on, as I became a business owner, entrepreneur, I realized that's the basis for mindset training. That's the basis for all how you train your brain to think a different way. I mean, there's many tools. Affirmation is one. It's not as efficient. You could be thinking positive. Again, problem is you got to think it, and the unconscious mind is working 24/7. You don't have a chance. There's other NLP techniques that we apply. I'm certified in neuro-linguistic programming, so I know how to guide someone to hypnosis. Sometimes we use that too, but there's no magic bullet, because if you find a magic bullet, you basically out of a standard, and that's where you're going to lose 2/3 of everybody, because what works with one will not work for 2/3 of the rest. They won't have fun. What's great about training your brain to think differently, have a different mindset is it's my job to find a tool that fits you. And then you design the velocity that you want to travel with this. So some people will gain this, train their brain in 4 hours. Others will do it in 2.5 months, worst case scenario. But that's a big change from going years, decades of learning.
And when someone takes longer, is that because they have this resistance that they're just not letting go and trusting?
No, not necessarily. It could. I have some clients that have a resistance to that, but it's actually everybody has their own, like I said, velocity. Everyone has their own pace. Some people would like to jog past the beach. Others would like to walk past the beach. Others want to stop and put their feet in the water and all that. Each one has a different velocity. And if you're not educated, you might look at that and say, well, the one that's running by, he's getting more accomplished. Not necessarily. They're getting about the same experience, but one is doing it at one pace than the others. So, and they're all having fun. One loves to run by the beach. One loves to stop and look. One likes to get in the ocean. It's a good thing. Some people, they have this dying need to run at full force, and we don't stop them. And some of them get it within hours after talking with them and helping them to train. Others say, I like to do it kind of a journal kind of way. I'm going to do this day by day and just enjoy it.
Right.
Some they do it in days, weeks, or a couple months. But we give, as a trainer, I keep them accountable to a specific time frame. So in other words, you can take your time, but within 90 days, I expect you to change. I expect you to stop playing, and get the results you paying me for. And they always do. They always do. So as long as I don't push them, I learned this a long time ago. The 90 days is like a magic number. Everybody who will fall into that 90 days. But if I say, well, everybody's can do this in 4 hours. Wow.
Right.
I learned that the hard way.
Right. As a therapist and a trained hypnotherapist as well. For instance, if someone comes to me and they want to quit smoking, I know that can be done very quickly. I know that. But when I tell them, and I'm wondering if you do this also, they say, don't tell everyone what you're doing, because you'll get all this, influx of possible negative energy, like, oh, that didn't work for me, or whatever. I said, keep it to yourself, keep it close to you, and stay with that thought before you start talking about it. And I said, I can lose clients by telling you not to tell them about me, but I don't want you to say anything for a few months. I want them to get really settled in.
Yes.
To talk about it.
You like to hoard their magic genie that they found.
Yeah.
My company, Success Genie, because we've been accused of being like magical genies. And we've said that. What is thy bidding, master? Tell me, if you can get everything in the world, what would it be? And they'll tell us. And I go, okay, what are you willing to do for it? For 4 hours, 2.5 months? What is your velocity? And then also, it's just, you got to remember, the mindset. And I'm digressing a little bit. Can I explain a little bit about how mindset is actually created?
Yes.
It is a science. It's neuroscience, epigenetics, and quantum mechanics, believe it or not, that I utilize to explain it. For those people who are intellectuals, I have a lot of engineers and technicians, and these people are always thinking here first, above, and not by their heart. So they need to qualify that. And jealous. So, okay, well, the science shows. Well, the science shows, neuroscience have been validated to, I don't know how they do this. They spend lots of hours in laboratories hooking up people to these electrodes and computers, but they have validated that our memories, the way they're created of course, first by an experience. And the experience, if it's intensified enough, doesn't matter what it is, it creates an emotional intensity. If it could be negative or positive, doesn't care. It's not judgmental. You can be afraid, or you can be, nirvana in your mind. You can be, just in the greatest joy of your life. It tends to physically store in 3D all experiences that it's had in a high emotion. So long-term memory is actually better when it's heightened with strong emotions. So I tell people, well, watch your emotions. They should be fun and great. Again, all fun. So if you see an accident and the mind, you might get scared at first. And that's that fear that creates all these chemicals, these endorphins, these enzymes, these proteins, they start developing the brain. You might have an adrenaline rush, It's all happening physically, chemically in your body. It creates an emotion. Then if it's intense enough, the brain physically goes, okay, snapshot, but it doesn't take a 2D photo, it takes a 3D. What you smelled, what you heard, what you tasted, if you tasted anything, what you felt on your skin, and the feeling, the emotional feelings, and it puts it in memory. It's there, technically forever. If then later on, you might have another experience, similar feeling, like maybe you got excited, but it has nothing to do with an accident. Maybe it was, well, you're going to go public speaking right now in front of 100 people. We're going to put you on stage in 5 minutes. How's that? You're like, then it takes all of that snapshot, but as it's a perfect network computer, it's a supercomputer, 3D. It puts it with the other similar emotions, and then it builds up. At some point, when it builds up enough, let's just try one more example. You had your heart broken, and you felt the same similar emotion. What? And you might have been listening to Elvis Presley as you were driving away with your heart broken on the radio of the car, or you might have saw a TV show and there was something that, but then 10, 20 years later, you see that TV show, you hear that Elvis Presley song, and you don't know why you feel apprehensive, sad, heartbroken. You know, why do you feel like you just saw an accident? Because in your mind, in your physical brain, all that's being stored in association. And at some point, you start to, when you have enough associations, you start to develop a belief, okay? And if we can stay with that, you start to develop a belief about something. And after you've developed a belief and you compound it with more other similar beliefs, they can be positive or negative, then you start to develop a personality around that belief, or beliefs, I should say. So if we stay with this, are you with me still? So now you got these emotional thoughts and feelings combining in a 3D reality in your brain. And then you get enough of them in a certain area, and you start to create an idea or belief about that. Then these beliefs start to turn into a personality as time goes on. And let's just say, for instance, a lot of them is negative. Then you start to develop over long periods of time moods. So what's wrong with you today? So I'm in a bad mood. Why? Because you don't even know. Because something influenced, something triggered these feelings and slash emotion, memories. It's a trigger. There's something triggered it off. And it might be something like a car driving by, a fire engine, which happened in the past. And you don't know why when a fire engine goes by, or you don't know why when you're on your first date in a long time, and you're feeling this apprehension, this, waiting for the other shoe to fall because it fell before in the past. So long story short, most of us don't live in reality. We live in a museum, an ancient museum of thoughts and feelings we've had in the past. And we're responding today in the present from something dead in the past. And we're not even aware of it. That's what it was meant to be.
You just brought up something we need to talk more about. We're going to take a little break. And we come back. I want to target what you just said about all that being stored there. We'll be back in a few.
EDESIA is a U.S. nonprofit dedicated to the dream of ending childhood malnutrition for millions of children around the world through the manufacture of Plumpy Nut and other nutrient-rich peanut-based ready-to-use foods. EDESIA has already delivered life and hope to nearly 1 million children in over 26 developing countries. To find out how you can join EDESIA's dream of ending childhood malnutrition, please visit edesiaglobal.org.
Are you ready to live a life filled with abundance and learn how to thrive, not just survive in today's world? Then tune in to Abundance, Money, Marketing, and Mindset with Joyce Logan and Charlene Chiaro every Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. With their combined wisdom as entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, author, and counselors, Joyce Logan and Charlene Chiaro will share ways for shifting into the life you desire for today's world. They'll help you go from panic to peace in your personal and professional life.
Are you searching for a way to help create global change? Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's vision is to have an eclectic group of radio hosts dedicated to educating, enlightening, and helping humankind with positive messages and tools that enhance lives using different modalities and programs. If you would like to join our team and help illuminate the universe, call Deborah at 508-226-1723 or Deborah at dreamvision7radio.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. For over 40 years, Omega has seen more than 1 million people come through its doors to grow, learn, and find a greater sense of purpose. With over 350 workshops to choose from, Omega offers something for everyone. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, Just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Abundance, and we're talking about abundance, everything abundance, with Angeles Perez. He is the owner of Success Genie. And we were talking about when we tend to store stuff and all these emotions and everything that we see. If we saw a car accident, if we had a bad experience with a breakup, and it gets stored there, and I understand that. So the question is, when all this is stored, and we all have that, it was a really great analogy. You could be listening to a song and not realizing that song was playing during a time of great stress in your life. So every time you hear that song, even 20, 30 years later, you're going to have those emotions. So how do we stop that stored area from bubbling over, and reinforcing good, happy thoughts?
Well, before I answer that question, thank you for it. I have to qualify something. I was one of the original co-founders of Success Genie. Okay. My wife actually owns the company now, and I'm moving on to other things while working in the company. So
I see.
That clear, it's like.
Well, you're married to the owner then, right?
Yes, now I'm married to the owner.
You were like the founder of it.
We're both founders, yes.
You're
but then
co-founder. Okay.
It's her brainchild, so she should have the credit for it. So
it's such a great name, Success Genie. My gosh.
it's descriptive of what clients have described process and method. But to answer your question, I digress. The way these to kind of get past, and this is really a process, and not everybody is going to have the same with any one tool. So I'm making it kind of really simple for the average person who doesn't know anything about this. When it comes to your mind, you got to understand this. Why is it so powerful? Why so many people have trouble quitting cigarette smoking, or they're hearing the brain chatter and it's all negative and they don't understand how to stop it. It's like, stop talking to me like that. Every time I ask an honest question, what can I do to improve my lot in life, my career, my finances, my love life, whatever, the brain then says something stupid like, well, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, you fill in the blanks. They have found out through neuroscience that you have 80 to 90,000, I don't know how they count this, thoughts per day, consciously, while you're awake, okay? And 90% of these thoughts, okay, I'm sorry, it was more 80 to 90,000, excuse me, and then 90% of them, or sometimes 95% of them, are not your own thoughts. And those 95 or 90% of that are not your own thoughts are negative, which caught me off guard. I'm like, why do they have to be negative? Why can't they be happy? Why are most of these unconscious thoughts, that's what they are, negative? And that just, I spent 10 years, surveying people, talking to my clients to figure this out. And the simple solution was they're negative only for the older people, the older clients, the older students. And then again, why? Because at some point, the mindset that was created, usually people in the field, the science researchers who do this, they say by the time you're by 30 years of age, you've learned everything. You've developed this perfect mindset to get you through the career and the lifestyle that you have gone for. You've gone to school for, college, you've been certified for. But average, 25 to 30, average. After that, what happens? You get into your life, everything's going fine. There's no negative talk, right? Mm-hmm. Then at some point in your life, you make a conscious choice. I want to change my life. I want to improve something in it. Doesn't matter. It could be financial. It could be going to a new church. It could be a hobby, a new social life. But because it's new, it's outside the programming that you spent a small lifetime developing. So now its job, just like think of it as a computer, its job is to do one thing. And now you're trying to tell it to do something beyond its means. And it's going to resist and it's going to fight back because it's been programmed to protect you and take care of you. And it's your best friend. Now you're telling it, hey, I want you to think this way. I want you to, I'm doing a 180 degrees turn. And then it says, no, you're not smart enough. No, you can't do it because it's dangerous. No. And it's not a coincidence that some people start to have midlife crisis between 30 and up, because it's at this point where I want to change. Entrepreneur, solopreneur, you work for a corporation, doesn't matter. You want to change in your life. You have to change the message. You got to change the program. You can't work from a program from the 1990s. This is 2021. It won't work. Try it. The same thing goes with us. We've set up a perfect program. It served us to a point. Now we're saying we want to change it. Fine. Change the program. Train your brain to think a different way. But the average person doesn't know that. So what's the first thing that happens? They're hearing negative babble and they're, self-talk, and they're not even doing it because it's unconscious. And here's the rub. You're only conscious 8 hours, say 10 hours a day, whatever. When you're not sleeping, part of the day you're conscious. And it's still chatting, saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're asleep. It's telling you now you're not conscious. You have no way of defending yourself. And it's telling you 24/7. And science has shown that the unconscious mind has a bandwidth of like a megabits per second. In case you don't know what that is, it's about 1 million thoughts, things going through a second through your brain. And when your conscious mind can only do, like a computer back in the early 90s, 1 kilobyte of information per second. So you got a supercomputer telling you 24/7, you're not good enough to do that new thing that you desire. And you have this small computer trying to say, I'm going to think positive. I'm going to use mantras. I'm going to use prayers. And when you're consciously attempting them, it seems to work, but then it starts all over again the next day. You lose the battle as soon as you go back to sleep. So this is how the brain works. So the minute you say, okay, I stop, I'm not going to change my life, I'm going to stay where I am, the negative thoughts don't come in anymore. So that's why it's so negative. You have to train your brain to think outside its own box. And once you do that, it starts working like you were doing from day one. The only difference is you're training your brain is a conscious effort it's fun. It takes a short period of time. The old way of doing it was unconscious. You were told what to do. You use systems, education, your upbringing, your certification process, whatever. You were told what to do, and you had to go through the process, and it was probably laborious and it's probably boring, but you did it anyway. I hate administrative work, but I did it anyway. And then you got to where you are. I made it. But now I want more.
Right.
Oh, can't have more unless you train your brain. And thank goodness the training now is conscious, where you're not doing through a process and goes back to velocity. You're doing it at your pace, not what the college curriculum tells you to do it, or what the job says you got a training at Monday at noon, you better be there. No, you do it at your pace, your time. Hey, you're an introvert. Do it at your the way you take in information and socialize. You're an extrovert. Hey, you don't like to get up late. You don't like to get up early. Velocity. Everybody's equal, but at their own pace. And that's where my job becomes fantastic. I go to bed smiling because my students and our clients, they see the results of they're finally taking control for the first time in their life, perhaps. They're actually empowering themselves. And they said, why didn't anybody tell me this earlier? This is not taught in school, college, and universities yet. So my wife and I have had the privilege to, for the last 2 decades, to get this higher form of education out there to the people.
So in your first meeting, would you say that you can size up that person to know that personality trait?
Yes.
And
yes.
so by the time they leave, have their tools and in the first meeting with you?
Absolutely. In fact, we have what we do to make it easy for our clients is don't even bother selling them. Sometimes we have to say no to our clients. People come to us with open checks, and we had to say no to them because their mindset kept them too close for being coachable or trainable. We don't want to take their money. I don't need to go to bed knowing that I took somebody's money and didn't give them service. So we set up a free consultation, and the consultation is with suggestions. Some people come to us during the free consultation, which could be half an hour to an hour, and they never come back to us. They got everything they needed because we kind of gave them what the benefits, the suggestions of what they can do on their own. Others need a little bit more, but they don't want to commit to coaching regimen or training. So that's fine. We have free tutorials, educational platforms. We send them to our own personal social media pages where at their leisure, they can look at I got a YouTube account as well, a channel. They can go at their leisure and pick up the information and learn at their velocity. Sometimes after that, they never see us again and they give us thank you. Kudos to you guys. Appreciate it. Need a testimonial? Your library is great. And then of course, there's the other ones that go, I've been through your education, or I don't need to go to your tutorials. I want you now. Let's do it now. Mm-hmm. And then I have to know within usually 5 minutes, and it doesn't take me half an hour I spend most of the time listening to them, but usually the first 5 minutes, and I kind of bet with friends and family with this, good money. I'll bet you in 5 minutes, you let me talk to somebody, let me hear somebody talking. In 5 minutes, I pretty much know what their mindset is, and I know what their future is exactly going to be 5 years from now. And I've never been wrong, and it's nothing to do with me. It's that once I could see there's a pattern to the mindset. If it's a positive, it's aligned with your needs, your desires. If it's supporting, nurturing you, it has a definite future. If it's the opposite, it has a definite future. And I think Anthony Robbins, a great NLP practitioner himself, he's stated this in the past and still does, that your future is your past. And if you want to change your future, you got to change the past, which is so counterintuitive to the average person to hear. And it makes no sense. Said you have to start from now, change the past, and then you create a new future. And they're like, okay, Angelos, but how do you, again, change the past? By focusing on the now, which we call the now, the sacred now, the holy now. Because once you're conscious, the unconscious mind has trouble staying present because it's not programmed to. It's programmed to stay in the past and just repeat and regurgitate. It's a movie that never ends, repeating itself over and over.
Is it like then your present moment looms much bigger and brighter than the past, and that begins to quiet down and go away?
Well, actually, that's the first step. If you stop and stay centered long enough, we teach and train and coach our clients to, you're going to hear the negative chat. It's going to do its best to tell you, don't be present. You don't want to do that. That's different from how we did it. Listen to me. I'm your friend. You're just to ignore it, let it go by you like clouds, and just focus on now. Once they're focused on now, then we start giving them a guided tour. Let's create your potential future. And then we create this future with them. We're partners. They're telling us what they want. We're guiding them through this magnificent future event that hasn't happened or never has happened. And then at some point, we tell them, okay, how did your mind react? I said, at first it was violent, but then it started to subside. I said, now do this a few more times. And they'll do it a few more times, as often as they have to. They put themselves in the now. We tell this little child, which is basically a program, is like a little child, needs guidance. Mommy, daddy's working now. If you want attention, I'll give it to you. But if you don't let me do this work, I can't give you attention. It sounds ridiculous, but the mind responds. And at some point, the mind realizes, well, it's not really hurting me. He or he are not trying to get rid of me. Maybe I should listen. And then we start talking back.
Well, I love this. We're going to have to take a break, but I have many more questions when we come back, and we'll be back in just a few.
Are you ready to live a life filled with abundance and learn how to thrive, not just survive in today's world? Then tune in to Abundance, Money, Marketing, and Mindset with Joyce Logan and Charlene Chiaro every Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. With their combined wisdom as entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, author, and counselors, Joyce Logan and Charlene Chiaro will share ways for shifting into the life you desire for today's world. They'll help you go from panic to peace in your personal and professional life. Are you ready to live your wow life now? Then tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Time for Wealth of Wellness with Gina Rhoda and Marsha Martin. Join Gina and Marsha during their live shows every third Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. Gina and Marsha offer intuitive guidance, empowering insights, educational, inspirational tools, and universal wisdom that will help you explore and discover the miraculous, mystical, and spiritual principles of life. Are you ready to get your wow life on now? Please
delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Bovee and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we're back. I'm Joyce Logan. I'm speaking to Angeles Perez, who is the co-founder of the Success Genie. And if you've been listening, it's just been fascinating. But I want to talk to you about this past year. This has been, let's say, a challenging year, a year where we got flipped upside down. The snow globe got shook upside down, and careers were lost, born, things. What are you hearing from people, and how are you dealing with that with them?
Well, there's two types of people out there, and I'm talking despite their industry or their business, solopreneur, entrepreneur, or you work for some company or corporation. There's basically two people out there: is how fast will it get back to normal, and I don't know if I can handle this. So I basically you have to approach them both differently. The ones who say, how can we get back to normal? If they come to me as one of my clients or students, I say, we have to change that right now. That's an awful mindset, especially during COVID times. I said, every great change in culture, never mind personally, but in culture, a war, World War I, World War II, big examples, Vietnam War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, famine, the big recession, the big, depression. Whenever something grand has hit us as a culture, the culture transformed, never went back to what we call the norm. So to expect to go back to the norm, your business is most likely going to be one of the first to go out of business. You have to adapt, be fluent, be flexible, and realize it's not about, and I'm paraphrasing Churchill, when you have, adversity, it's an opportunity not to run from, but to exploit and get to the next level of whatever you're looking for. And so when people are saying, well, I want to get back to show me how to get back to the norm as soon as possible. I'm like, so you just want to coward. You want to give up. The bombs are coming, and you just rather not fight back. You want to surrender. That's what Churchill was warning his people at the time of the war. And this is what I'm warning my clients to think that way. I said, if you're expecting to go back to normal, then you're a business that doesn't have the right model to sustain itself, scale itself in the future. So you have to, the ones who are very successful are the ones who say, help me get through COVID. So then, that's much easier. It's first become a leader. There's many leaders, many archetypes of leadership. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me make sure that doesn't ring again. So you have to determine what kind of leader you're going to be. You might be a support leader. You might be an inspirational leader. You might be a team leader. And there actually is about a dozen of them, but I'm giving you a few of them. Once you determine what kind of a leader you're going to be here, you're going to be a trendsetter, are you going to be a trailblazer, are you going to play by your own drums, or are you going to look for some other group to be part of, to support of? But figure out what you want. And then once you get there, stay the course. Because again, when COVID is over, and I told this, and I've had videos from day one. About a year ago, I think I made my first video, and it's about how to survive financially through COVID, no matter what your industry is. The ones, we're getting to that point, we're getting slowly out of it, thank goodness. The ones who actually took my coaching and changed their mindset, they became the trendsetters. They became the new shakers, movers and shakers of mountains. They became the trailblazers. Now, an example, our company, we did well, never had a problem. We had clients across the country, so we're national, but it was difficult for us to get international. So when COVID hit, we had to do more virtual. So this was our challenge. This is the opportunity, Churchill said. So we had to rise above and say, we have to master social media. We don't have an excuse, we have to master it, period. And then in the process of mastering it, we started getting our first clients from India, Australia, and and France. So now we're international, and it's actually created us. And now people from around the world are telling us, how do you use social media? I said, gotta train your brain.
So you train your brain. Do you find that a lot of it is a fear of it because it's the unknown and they don't want to be seen on camera, and there's a lot going on with social media?
Well, that's the mindset again. The mindset is always going to be afraid of change. And that's not the excuse to stop you. You have to be conscious of the fact that it's afraid. See, here's the thing. What I've learned a long time ago about myself, I share with my clients and students. Your mindset is not you. Your past is not you. Whatever happened to you in the past is gone. That doesn't define who you are. So what you were not born with a silver, a golden spoon in your mouth. So what that you might have physical illnesses, or maybe you have one arm less fingers or whatever. So what that you didn't have money? So what that you were homeless once? By the way, I was homeless once. I had a partner embezzle our company, $3.6 billion. I've suffered from depression most of my life. And I've had an accident where, thank God they had the paddles because I was flatlined. So, and I've learned from these experiences, that's not me. That's just things that happen to me. It doesn't define me. My depression, which I manage, is not me. It's something that just flares up in me, like you get a hives from something you're allergic to. You're not your hives. So people have to understand that up front, that this mindset that's talking to you doesn't mean that's who you are. Who you are is greater than your mindset. And all you need to do is now create a mindset that aligns with who you truly are, your desires, your needs, not just your wants, because everybody has wants and wishes, but your true designing. You want to be a co-creator with the universe. You want to create your ideal lifestyle, which includes you're making enough money, making the right friends, having the right family, social life, church life, paying your taxes, whatever. But it's a lifestyle that has a component called your career and business, as opposed to I'm so busy working, I don't have time to do anything. I don't have time to see my spouse and my children. I don't have time to take a vacation, all that. Mindsets, and these are not you.
I would much rather take advice from someone like you who's lived through a lot of stuff. I mean, from having someone embezzle and literally take your living away and on the street and dealing with depression, and you overcame that and you're teaching this. Bravo to you. I would much rather listen to you to tell, because whatever I say to you, you can say, I've been there. I've been there.
Yes.
I know.
It doesn't make us hypocrites. We're not hypocrites. We've lived it. So when our clients come to us and they tell us their hard luck stories, which is usually during that half an hour to hour, moment that we give them to talk and assess them, they're telling us how terrible their life was, but they're talking in present tense as if it's happening to them now. And I'm like, you don't understand, Angelus. You don't understand, Angelus. Like, well, I've been homeless too, so okay, I do understand you. Well, I've lost wealth. I do understand you. I've had that death in my family. Yeah, I do understand you. So it's like, can we now get down to business? Do you want to keep talking about those negative things, or you want to have fun with the life that you have left, whatever age bracket you're in? So yeah.
So tell me, for our listeners, what exactly is the process? If I come to you and I say, I have a business, I need to grow it. I don't know how to grow it. I feel stuck.
Yes.
What's one of the first questions you're going to ask me?
Well, some of the first questions I have during the process, we have to figure out what your mindset is. And usually within the first half an hour to an hour talking with you, we have a good idea. And don't just say myself. Sometimes I'll do the first interview like it's a job, and my wife does the second interview, or vice versa. Sometimes they come to her first and with me. If one of us says no, we won't take them on as a client, because we don't want to waste their money or time being the person that they expect us to be, and we can't. But if they are the proper, we can help them. Then the next step is we ascertain where they're comfortable in. Like I said earlier, do you wish to try some of our free training and see if it fits you? Because maybe you want to try the car, kick the tires, drive it around the block. Maybe it's not for you. By the time you drive the car, you may come back and go, nah, this is not for me. So if they are for us, then we get to the next process. I said, we have these types of groups. We get together. We have special communities that actually several of them that we've created, like-minded professionals, successful professionals, all solopreneurs to working in a corporation, a CEO or owner of a company. And they're all there. So you got these giants all there in the same platform with you like we are. And we're talking and sharing things. And believe me, the things, never mind what I'm going to do for them, my services, but with little tips and educational tidbits they get from other people from other industries. Sometimes just listening to the person next to you who's in the same room to learn from me, you might learn that $10,000 idea, that you might figure something out in your marketing and advertising and your branding that you didn't get from me just by being in the community. So the community is one process for people. Now, some people don't like that. Some people are introverts, more introverted, I should say. Some people are embarrassed to be in a group setting. Then there's personal one-on-one training, and we give them that option. And that then is separate. Then we tell you, I'm going to be your personal coach for this many days. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, 3 months, or a whole year package. Same thing with the communities. We usually, the communities, you come in for about 6 months. The reason why I say 6 months or a year is, truthfully, if it's mindset, that's not the issue all the time. You might have the right mindset, but you don't really know how to use that mindset to stabilize your business or to scale it up so you can sell it later on and retire with mailbox money. We all like that idea of mailbox money. So you might have, in other words, I would say 99.9% of my clients that come to me, they're brilliant. There's nothing I need to teach them. They have all the skill sets, all the experience. Some of them will come to us, they speak 3 languages fluently. They have a bachelor's and a doctorate degree, maybe 2. They travel the world. They're from a family which their upbringing is, they're going to inherit, big fortunes later on. They got a business that works. Why are they coming to a mindset coach? And many times they'll ask me, well, Angelus, sitting across the table from me, having coffee, got to have fun. they're saying, well, what is your credentials? What are you, tell me more about yourself. And I'm like, well, before I do that, I'm going to assume this is part of the process. Somebody sent you to us, referred you to us, because they can see in you what you already feel is a black hole. There's something there that's making you unhappy, that's keeping you stuck in life. You feel like a hamster on a wheel. You feel like every day is Groundhog's Day, and you don't know what it is. But despite all your training and education, it's not doing anything for you. Despite the vision boards, despite the prayers and the mantras, and everything, which are all good tools, they're not working for you. So I would say, after we have a free talk, assessment, if after an hour you don't feel that I'm for you, I will tell you my credentials and where I come from, and I will give you a referral to someone who can help you. But after that, if you think I can help you, you never ask me for my credentials again. And usually, they usually ask me.
I could do another hour with you. We're going to have to wrap this up, but I want people to know how to reach you. So tell them, what is the best way to reach you?
You can reach us right now. We have a website, successgenie.com, but because of COVID, we've become kind of masters and professionals of social media. So you can also contact us on Facebook, Success Genie Facebook. That's the quickest way to contact us. Our direct number is 203-345-0677, or call me directly at my personal cell at 203-645-1580. And I'd be more than happy if you get the voice message, leave it. I will get back to you the same day. These are the quickest way to get connected to us.
Very good. Thank you so much for being with us today. The hour went by so fast.
I appreciate you having us here.
We hope to have you back again. So bye for now. Thank you for listening until we meet again.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you very much for having us. Have a great day, everybody.